Hello, my friends, and welcome back. I'd like to thank you for subscribing to my channel. I'd also like to invite you to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Real easy. Hit the subscribe notification down in the lower right-hand corner, then hit the little black bell that is in quotations all. What that'll do is it'll let you know about all the great content that I put out there, and when the new stuff comes up, you'll be first to know. All right. With no further ado, let's get started. I wanted to talk to you about patience. Now, I did a video not too long ago. I think it was my second or third one, where it was called "Hurry Up and Wait," and it was along similar lines of being patient. And it was my ability to be able to recognize where I was and to be patient around the opportunity that I had to talk to you about it. This type of patience that I'm going to talk to you about is a little bit different and a little bit more loaded. Okay, I'm gonna bring in family with patience, and oh my God, you guys have already gone, oh gosh, there's a pit in your stomach, and then you're already starting to roll your eyes. They're starting to glaze over. Stay with me. Okay, so I'm on a family trip right now with my daughter. I'm an adult. I must do things as an adult. Plus, I have learned a number of different tools, a number of different ways in which I can see myself, I can observe myself, but I can also exercise my own boundaries and my own beliefs. That said, it's a two-way street, and I'm okay being wrong when I'm wrong. I'm also okay stating facts that are facts. I'm also willing to go, you know what? Maybe something that I said last night wasn't the best thing to say, and I'm going to take some ownership for that, and I apologize. To which I did, when I'll get to that in a moment. So, I flew east with my daughter. I'm here with my family, staying with them, and it's great to see them. I miss them. It's been a while. I've also not missed some of the things that we talk about and that are common and come up when we're together. I also truly believe that those are the triggers that send the message. There are things that you really need to look at. For me, there's an ever-growing list of things that I need to be more patient with. And that is both with not only my dad and my mom. And I need to do a much better job of staying attentive, being attentive, listening, and just understanding where they're coming from. My daughter is here. One of my daughters is here, and she's taking all this in. And she loves it. She loves to be here. It's been a while since she's seen Nana and Papa, and I love that. One of the things that have come up when it comes to patience is a conversation around politics. Now, I don't know about you, but when I worked for the railway, one of the things that was solicited in the railway, as far as what to talk to and what not to talk to, was politics, religion, and don't talk about sex. Those three things. Well, let me tell you something. It's okay to talk about politics. It's okay to talk about religion. It's okay to talk about sex. It's something that has been frowned upon and hasn't been talked about a lot. And as a result, we haven't talked about it. We haven't really figured out how to communicate with these things as an adult. And as adults go, when things come up, sometimes we don't deal with them properly. And that's okay. And then we get to deal with those things in the limelight. But here's the thing. If there's something that you say, especially myself, if there's something that I say that doesn't feel right, but I've said my piece, if there's something within that still doesn't feel right, I'll mow it over a little bit. I won't hack for too long. If it's something that still feels right at the end of it, I'll make peace with it because I've said my piece. If it wasn't fair and it was inaccurate, and I wanted to do better on it next time, I'll take ownership of it and I will apologize, because there's some feelings and there's some follow through that need to happen with that, and I need to take the lead on that to be better. Now, the sticky part of that, when your parents talk about politics that aren't necessarily similar to the beliefs that you have around politics and specific things, don't get caught up in it. Myself included. Don't get caught up in it, Jesse. Because here's where it goes. Nowhere. All you end up with is people with feelings and people with triggers, and it doesn't go over very well because there's no way to get around it other than going through it. And if you're not willing to go through it and broach it at that time because there isn't the time to do it in the time that you have, then you have to just make the decision to do it at another time. And that could be never, but it could also be 10 minutes later. It could also be your next vacation where you allot some time to do that. In my case, something was brought up around politics, and I have been in the past deeply entrenched in politics, and I find myself at times even the steps that I've made to remove myself from a lot of the things that have involved politics that are out of my control still affect me in times, and they will with you too, and I know it will. And I know some of you are going, oh yeah, I know what you mean, because they're that word and this word and woke and awake and this politician and that politician and what's going on here and what's not going on here and what's going on at West, and oh my gosh, this is what they're doing here, and we love this guy and we don't love, on and on it goes, right? You have to decide whether or not you're going to engage and go right through it or not at all. In my case, I decided that I was going to rip through it last night. Rip through it. Shouldn't have done that, and I'm okay. But one of the best things that came of this was after having a discussion with my wife about this, because it really didn't feel good. It really didn't feel good to me. I talked to my wife about it, and the first thing that I said was the next morning I was going to take some ownership of it, and I was going to apologize to my parents. Well, let me tell you what happened. This morning, my old man, the first thing that he said when I come downstairs after having slept all night, he took ownership for what he said and apologized. Wow. What a powerful thing, hey? What a powerful thing. My dad stepped up and did that. To which I did as well. He took the lead. I was willing to do it initially. It was already in the bank. It was all ready to go. And I apologized too. And do you know what that was for us? It was a way through. Even though we don't have the same beliefs and we might come to different conclusions, we can still get along. And we can still own our crap. That's right. And I'm really proud of the both of us, because it's something really hard to do as men, is to own your stuff, and is to come at it from a way of seeing it as something you did wrong, denying that it's something you did wrong, but knowing you fair well that there's something that you said that might not have been the right thing to say, working through that. It was meant to be said so that you could see it, so that you could own it, so that you could hear it, so that you could do something about it. And my friends, it was great. It was good to be able to do that. So, how are you showing up in your life today when it comes to conversations around things that are different, conversations that you might not agree with when it comes to loved ones? How are you being patient with yourself? How are you being patient with yourself? And if you do have a moment where you're not so great with you or those that you're talking to, how do you deal with that? Do you own it? Do you talk about it with them further? And I'm not talking about it from a place of you need to over-explain yourself, because that's a part of people pleasing that we can get into another time. But I'm asking you if there are moments today or yesterday, for that matter, where you've been with colleagues, co-workers, friends, family, even your kids, where you could have owned that time a bit better, that conversation a bit better. How do you do it? How do you get through with it? I'm interested to know, actually. I want to know your point of view. This is a two-way street. I learned from you too. You learned from me, I learned from you. Let's go. All right, I'll end it on that note. Feel free to comment. I'd love to hear your comments. I'd love to hear your questions. And let's go from there. Until next time, keep fit, be happy, have fun.